Ifemelo decided to stop faking an American accent on a sunlit day in July, the same day she met Blaine. It was convincing, the accent. She had perfected, from careful watching of friends and newscasters, the blurring of the T, the creamy roll of the R, the sentences starting with so, and the sliding response of, oh, really? But the accent creaked with consciousness. It was an act of will. It took an effort, the twisting of lip, the curling of tongue. If she were in a panic or terrified or jerked awake during a fire, she would not remember how to produce those American sounds. And so she resolved to stop on that summer day, the weekend of DK's birthday. Her decision was prompted by a telemarketer's call. She was in her apartment on Spring Garden Street, the first that was truly hers in America, hers alone, a studio with a leaky faucet and a noisy heater. In the weeks since she moved in, she had felt light-footed, cloaked in well-being, because she opened the fridge knowing that everything in it was hers, and she cleaned the bathtub knowing she would not find tufts of disconcertingly foreign roommate hair in the drain. Officially 2 blocks away from the real hood, was how the apartment super, Jamal, had put it, when he told her to expect to hear gunshots from time to time. But although she had opened her windows every evening, straining and listening, all she heard were the sounds of late summer, music from passing cars, the high-spirited laughter of playing children, the shouting of their mothers. On that July morning, her weekend bag already packed for Massachusetts, she was making scrambled eggs when the phone rang. The caller ID showed unknown, and she thought it might be a call from her parents in Nigeria. But it was a telemarketer. A young male American who was offering better long-distance and international phone rates. She always hung up on telemarketers, but there was something about his voice that made her turn down the stove and hold onto the receiver, something poignantly young, untried, untested, the slightest of tremors, an aggressive customer service friendliness that was not aggressive at all. It was as though he was saying what he had been trained to say, but was mortally worried about offending her. He asked her how she was, how the weather was in her city, and told her it was pretty hot in Phoenix. Perhaps it was his first day on the job, his telephone piece poking uncomfortably in his ear, while he half hoped that the people he was calling would not be home to pick up. Because she felt strangely sorry for him, she asked whether he had rates better than 57 cents a minute to Nigeria. "Hold on while I look up Nigeria," he said, and she went back to stirring her eggs. He came back and said his rates were the same, but wasn't there another country that she called? Mexico? Canada? "Well, I call London sometimes," she said. "Okay, hold on while I look up France," he said. She burst out laughing. "Something funny over there?" he asked. She laughed harder. She had opened her mouth to tell him bluntly that what was funny was that he was selling international telephone rates and did not know where London was. But something held her back, an image of him, perhaps 18 or 19, overweight, pink-faced, awkward around girls, keen on video games and with no knowledge of the roiling contradictions that were the world. So she said, "Oh, there's a hilarious old comedy on TV." "Oh, really?" he said, and he laughed too. It broke her heart, his greenness. And when he came back on to tell her the France rates, she thanked him and said they were better than the rates she already had and that she would think about switching carriers. "When is a good time to call you back, if that's okay?" he said. She wondered whether they were paid on commission. Would his paycheck be bigger if she did switch her phone company? Because she would, as long as it cost her nothing. "Evenings," she said. "May I ask who I'm talking to?" "My name is Ifemelu." He repeated her name with exaggerated care. "Is it a French name?" "No, Nigerian." "Is that where your family came from?" "Yes." She scooped the eggs onto a plate. "I grew up there." "Oh, really? How long have you been in the US?" 3 years. "Wow, cool. You sound totally American." "Thank you." Only after she hung up did she begin to feel the stain of a burgeoning shame spreading all over her for thanking him, for crafting his words, "You sound American," into a garland that she hung around her own neck.